Welcome back to COTA, Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, USA. We are, of course, here for round 5 of America's Rallycross 2019. There's a few extra rounds for the guys from ARX 2. The man of the moment, though, is Tanner Foust, who, of course, took the top qualifier spot here to extend his championship lead. Technically, he's kind of still behind Scott Speed, but at this point in the event, with the points scored and the fact that Scott isn't competing for the rest of this year, Tanner will be at the top of that table. He's got a fight on. He's up against 3 Subarus in semi-final number 1, and Tanner is with James Rimmer now.
Tanner, we're standing here in front of your Rockstar Beetle. We're looking at, you can see the battle scars on the front of it. You're going into now the semifinals, so you're racing for position. What's the strategy going into that?
You know, just get out of the hole fast like we've been doing and you know, try to break out ahead. You know, it's great with additional cars on the track, and it's been really fun, you know, racing with Backerud and Weeman. You know, I don't know if you know, I've known him for a long time. Known Andreas since he was a pimply-faced teenager driving front-wheel drive 1600 cars. And we talked many times about his transition into supercars when I was racing in Europe. And Weeman and I were actually teammates for a while in Europe and here in the U.S. and go way back. So I'm a big fan of both of those guys. Hopefully in the next 10 minutes, I'll still be a big fan of those guys because I think it's going to get a little bloody in the semifinals.
Well, thank you, Tanner, for giving us a little insight into that. Back up to you guys in the commentary booth.
Yeah, Tanner making a bit of a joke out of it. I think Bucky's making the point there. They're in there. There is no intention from Subaru Motorsport USA to do anything dirty. That's not the point. But what they would like to do is outmaneuver Foust and have him not in the final, because that's the perfect scenario. Then they can extend or close the gap, sorry, for either Sandell or for Atkinson behind.
Totally. I mean, it's respectful. Those guys aren't sitting there banging into them. You know, they're racing them respectfully. And yeah, we'll see if he's still fans of them in 10 minutes.
We will indeed. Of course, they've been giving up places here and there as well. We've seen Backerud move over earlier on to let people through. So, yeah, they're playing the team game, but it's going to be a clean fight. Looking forward to a good fight. Right, we're going to take a look back at the action from Q3. If you've only just joined us for the final stages, this is what happened in the last qualifying session for Supercar. Very even start in this one. 3 cars going. You could see Arpin there just hesitated on the brake and had a little look, didn't he, at going into the Joker, but decided against, sorry, the standard lap, decided against it.
And it didn't cost him any time. You know, he checked up a little bit, and he was going to be behind Cabot anyway.
Some big jumps there from Bigham as well. Like the big ham went big over the jump, didn't he? This was Sandell down the hairpin, little nudge again, but by now he'd shut the door on Arpin. Arpin down in P4, Peacoy out the front. Travis doing a good job. Both him and Steve have had penalties today, which neither of them were particularly happy about. I think Arpin's was quite harsh. Peacoy's probably pretty fair. Peacoy also missed the Joker lap on this one and got himself a 30-second penalty for that. So they need a big reset ahead of the semi-finals. Just chill out and get it done. So Foust, this is what he's going to be facing pretty much once he gets to the semi-finals. 3 of the Subarus versus 1 Beetle. But on this occasion, Bucky, he got it done. And this is where he's going to be hoping to be in the semi-final. Out front, not caught in traffic.
Job well done by Tanner and his crew. I know Andretti and the Rockstar crew over there definitely. It's a stressful time over there. There's Sandell goes a little crazy. Or actually, that was Echo, I believe.
Super wide slide down at the hairpin, the 3 Subarus close together. This was the point where we thought that Backerud might give up the place to Atco on the brakes, but he actually did it on the back straight.
Yep, there you go. Andreas letting his teammate by, giving him all the points he needs.
Foust, though, taking the win in Q3 and with it the TQ and 16 championship points. Now, remember, the people he's got to watch out for are Atco down in 3rd and Sandell down in 5th. So he's nicked a couple of points off both of those, but he faces both Atco and Sandell along with Weeman in semi-final number 1. In semi-final number 2, it's Backerud versus Cabot Bigham on the front row. So Subarus and VWs locking out the front row here. Arpin and Peacoy on the back row. So Arpin and Peacoy, somebody's missing out in both those semi-finals because there's 8 cars. There's going to be 6 in the final, so all to play for.
Yeah. Team orders?
No, what, with Arpin and Peacoy or Subaru?
No, not with Arpin and Peacoy for sure. They're going after it. Definitely team orders for Subaru, and yeah, they want the normal running They want their normal guys to run up there and get the points, all the points they can. That's what these other guys are here for.
For me, there's no question about whether or not I think if Weeman was in a semi position and Sandell or Atco won't, I think Weeman will drop to 4th and let those guys through. Their ideal scenario, of course, is to beat Foust. But so much going on ahead of the semi-finals. And we caught up with some of the supercar drivers earlier this weekend to find out where their minds are at when they're about to go in and fight for position instead of for race time.
Qualifying's over, so now it's no longer about time. We're going into the semifinals. It's time to pull out the elbows and get really aggressive.
The first corner is so important. You have to pass the guy in front of you. That's just the simple fact.
I'm not afraid to beat and bang with the other cars. If I win that semifinal, I'm gonna have a much better chance at getting the victory in the final.
Yeah, good stuff. Nicely done by getting into the head of what they've got to do. It's pressure time. You got to focus. You really got to go for it.
Yep, no more times. They're out the window.
And we have seen people doing the wrong thing in qualifying here this weekend and racing. You do want to beat the guy. You still want position, because at the end of the day, if you get position, you've beaten them in qualifying.
Right.
But if you're messing about for position and everybody else is getting race time, now it's the other way. Who cares? It doesn't matter if you're half a minute slower. You must beat him.
Yeah, it's important, you know, and these guys, you can't let your team down, you know. You can't let us fans down. You still got to fight, but yeah, we want to see you go fast.
Okay, cool. So we've got semi-finals coming up, first of all, of course, for ARX 2. So let's get down to the grid and have a look. Fraser McConnell is the championship leader in ARX 2. 21 points was the margin he had when we came here. And I think, if I remember correctly, he's extended that a little bit. On pole here, we've got Brad DeBerti. It was his first ever top qualifier spot. So he'll be pretty pleased with that. And next to him, of course, is Sage Karam. Now, Sage got stuck in big time back at Mid-Ohio, and I'm expecting Sage to go for it again here.
Yeah, he did so good. He drove good. He was driving good earlier as well.
He hasn't got his starts right, though, has he? That's the one thing we haven't seen.
No, he's been back of the pack, huh, every time.
Yeah, I think that's that thing of, because they're quite specific machines to get off the line, and Sage hasn't managed to get that done quite so well. So Connor Martel at the back of this semi-final grid, and of course that's because Connor went for a gap, which we were pleased to see him do, but unfortunately the gap closed and Cole Keats just squeezed him a bit and he took a wheel off Bucky.
Really sad for Connor right now.
He's here all week. Lane Vakela pulls up to the back row. 5 cars in semi-final number 1. Let's take a look. On the pole, Brad DeBerti, his first ever top qualifier spot. Sage Karam next to him. Row 2, Cole Keats and Connor Martel, both very quick, looking to find a way through as soon as possible. And Lane Vakela, P5 on the grid for this one. 2 of these drivers are not going to make it through to the final. Thumbs up from the marshal. It's going to be a bundle down to turn 1. Has anybody decided to go Joker already, or are they just going to wait and see what happens? Waiting for the ready to race light. It's a long old hold there. I would suggest there's an issue with the start there. So the drivers had the thumbs up from the marshals, but they're going to do a restart. So I can see one of the guys from timing running across the back of the grid. And they're getting the lights reset. So the marshals having a look across the grid to see if there's anything in the way of somebody rolled forward for a jump start or anything. They're taking out the markers. So it looks like Lane Vakela has knocked over his jump start marker. You can see the jump start markers just in front of the cars. So has Vakela jumped the start? I don't think he has, because if he's done it prior to the start procedure starting, it's not a jump start, it's just a reset basically. So no second joker for Vakela. But not what you need as a driver. Adrenaline's super high at this point, they just want to get cracking.
Hot in those cars.
So I wonder if the Chief Marshal's going to come back out. Here we go then, semi-final, number 1, ready to race. Oh, jump start straight away, Sage Karam. So Sage Karam has jumped the start. That's going to be 2 joker laps for him. Stand the jump start indicator back up again. That centre basically gets knocked over. It's around 12 centimetres in front of the car. There's the 2 times joker. There's a couple of very young Rallycross fans. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying it. Okay, a restart then for semi-final number 1. Marshall's coming back out to give them all another thumbs up. Second attempt at the start for semi-final number 1 after that jump start from Sage Karam. This time they get away, and it's a good start by Sage Karam. He's going to have to do those 2 jokers anyway, don't forget. But Brad DeBerti going to get down to turn 1 first. Cole keeps going with him. Connor Martel gone joker, so Martel goes joker. Can't find a way past Sage Karam. I thought he might try the undercut, but Karam's wise to that, keeps the car nice and tidy. And Sage Karam, leader of the 3 cars who jokered. Lane Vakela went with him as well. Karam now is going to try and get his head down, see if he can overlap these 2 in front. It's going to be about whether they stay out Bucky or whether they respond.
Are these guys going to start passing each other like we saw in the past?
We might see that. We did see, of course, we saw that amazing battle, didn't we, between Martel and Sage Karam. But I think at this point, I reckon they'll be looking at the timesheets. Well, their spotters will be trying to close down the gap to these two. I'm keen to see whether they joker straight away. Yes, so Cole Keats goes straight to the joker. Sage Karam goes for his 2nd joker. So Karam's gone in for his penalty joker. Coming around the outside, going to get back out in front of Lane Vakela. So do you know what? Sage Karam, having had 2 jokers to be on the back of this little pack, that's a pretty decent tactic there.
Yeah, so he hasn't lost that much time.
And we've seen he can pass. He was putting passes on Martel, and Martel was putting them back on him left, right, and centre. Going to try and get a good exit. So Sage Karam trying to make it through, having done 2 jokers. And what is the problem for DeBerti? Oh, Brad DeBerti's going backwards. So Brad DeBerti with the problem has dropped down the field. Sage Karam just clipped the tyre barrier there as he came past him. DeBerti doesn't seem to be going too slowly, but Bucket, well, he is.
He's got some attitude on the front of that car.
Has he got a puncture? Well, it's hard to tell, but well, he's gone
it's
either
just
way.
dancing around on him. Look at it move around on him. It's just moving around on him.
Lane Vakela up the inside. Poor Brad DeBerti. That was his first ever top qualifier spot, and he's had a problem in the semi-final.
Oh, devastating for DeBerti.
So amazing though for Sage Karam. So Sage Karam, who took 2 jokers and a minute ago was sitting in P5, has suddenly sorted himself back up into 3rd place. So I think he would have been further up. Well, he still could be further up, Buck. He's got 3 laps to stick a pass on Keats if he wants to get to row 2, and I think he will try.
I think he is going to try. Here it comes.
He does the Martel, so that's what Connor Martel did to him. Little tap there, you can see some of the conveyor belt is hanging out into the track, actually on the racing line, where somebody's clipped it. So the driver's having to watch out for that. You can see a bit of damage on the front of Keats' car where he's just clipped it. These guys kind of bunny hopping over the jump. It's super clean now on the brakes as well. We've got a full blue groove on that back section.
This has really played out to Martel's card, and he is just walking away right now. He has no worries whatsoever. As long as he keeps his car clean.
He wants to set up another race with Fraser McConnell, doesn't he? They had a couple of great races up in Canada. It was super close between them. Run straight over the conveyor. Look, no worries for him. He's not having anything taken off his lap times. Martel taking quite an interest. Oh, and up the inside. Great move. Sage Karam makes a really good move up the inside of Cole Keats. Keats to be cross about that. Not, tiny bit of contact, Bucky, but for me it was a good move. It was the whole car up the inside.
Keats took the faster line, but not necessarily the race line. He did not protect the race line.
And you have to. Well, certainly when you've got Sage Karam behind you, we've seen how he's willing to pass anywhere. Was McConnell versus Martel in both the finals up at Canada, and McConnell won both of them. So could we see Fraser McConnell on the front row with Connor Martel and another epic fight between them? Connor Martel going on to the dirt section over the jump. He can afford to take it a little bit easier. Great drive, Sage Karam jumps to start. If he hadn't jumped it, he'd be right with Martel.
I'm pretty sure Sage would cut line in a buffet.
Yeah.
He would cut line in a buffet. He would cut line.
He's making passes and he doesn't care. Ain't care for Sage Karam, but a brilliant result for Connor Martel. He wins semi-final number 1. Martel will be on the front row. Sage Karam goes through to row 2. and Cole Keats to row 3. Lane Vakala crosses the line in 4th place, and Brad DeBerti just coming past the commentary position now, so Brad DeBerti coming through to take the flag as well. Can't see an issue with DeBerti's car, but there's obviously something which has slowed him, and a shame for him to drop back. Great job, Conor Martel. Conor Martel wins semi-final number 1 from Sage Karam and Cole Keats. Sage Karam with a jump start and 2 joker laps still manages to get P2, so he could well be a threat in the final. Lane Vakala and Brad DeBerti are done here in Austin. Incredible drive there from Sage Karam to come back from a jump start, Bucky. You know, normally that's it. And he can pass. Dude can pass.
Yeah, man. I'm glad my grandma's not in line.
You think he'd cut line,
oh, he would
even
cut
with
right
your
in front.
grandma?
Yeah, he would race her.
Yeah.
He
Sage
seems like
Karam,
the type. Yeah.
brilliant, great job by him, and some fantastic racing between him and Conor Martel earlier on as well. We were going to take a look back at the action from semi-final number 1. So here's the start from semi-1. Already jumped the start course. Sage Karam at this point managed to get the whole shot of those who went to the joker on lap 1. And Sage Karam, of course, actually went joker again on lap number 2 and stuck himself straight on the back of the pack and in the mix. By now, Brad DeBerti's going back. Watch Sage Karam here as well. He just clips the barrier on the inside. Lucky to get away with that, but he was up into P3, but that wasn't it, Bucky. He wasn't settling for P3.
No, here he comes again, charging on Keats. Gets on the inside of Keats, shows him that he's there. Gets away with another front wheel hit and another front wheel hit. That's 3 front wheel hits he got away with.
Amazing job by him, making the pass to get P2, but it's Martel that wins semi-1.
Connor, after an up and down day, this must be a good way to end qualifying and semifinals, now going into the final.
Yeah, absolutely. We struggled all day. You know, we broke stuff. We were struggling with some understeer earlier, and the guys finally figured out. And then in that last qualifier before this, we totally ripped the front left off in the first turn, and they worked their asses off to get it back together. And I can't thank them enough. The Wix team has done an awesome job. This car is awesome. It's on rails now, and you know, I knew once we got out front and we got out of the carnage, we could run fast laps. You know, we know we're one of the fastest guys here, so we're starting P2, I think, in the final. So now we just got to think of what our strategy is going to be there.
Awesome. Well, good luck in the final.
Thank you.
3 more spots up for grabs in the final. Semi-final 2 for ARX 2 coming up next. Crowd chilling as much as you can chill when it's as warm as it is here. We've got a bit of repair going on down at turn 1. We can take a look at that, I'm sure, and that's where the conveyor belt comes off the tyre barrier. So basically, obviously, it's old car tyres as a general rule, which make up these tyre walls, and then they use conveyor belt around the outside. You see the guys are out there now firing in a few more screws to reattach that conveyor belt. Bucky, when you hook a tyre onto those, 1 or 2 things happen. You either rip the belt off the tyres or you roll the car.
What it'll do is it'll hook and grab your car, and it'll just take you for a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild one. Not that it's ever happened to me.
No, you've not managed that, no?
No, I have.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yoni Weeman ended up on his side earlier this year back at Silverstone in the World Rallycross Championship. He clipped one of these barriers, and it just climbed the barrier just a little bit too much. If my memory serves correctly, anyway. It's been a long season.
I've never been over, though. I've clipped them. I've hit them.
You've done some panel damage.
I've done some bicycling.
Done some panel damage over the years. And fixed some panel damage over the years as well, Bucky.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Yeah. How's the Subaru coming along?
It's coming. I got some work to do when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, cool. I follow on Instagram, you know, I see what's going on. I see those other Subarus you're liking as well. I've seen you on there following the, you know, the people.
I like all cars, you know, not just Subarus.
Well, we do.
Yeah, I got to, you know, I can't play any favoritism, you know.
He has got a very nice Subaru. Talking to Subaru, in fact, we'll be back in a minute. Well, one man, of course, who we're missing from the grid this weekend, and I'm sure he's missing peddling his own Subaru, is Scott Speed. He led the championship by 5 points coming here, but unfortunately, he was injured and he won't be taking part in the rest of the season. But he is here, supporting the team, supporting the drivers, and he's with James Rimmer now.
Scott, after that scary crash and you're back, we're glad to see you here. We're glad to see you around supporting your team, but how are you doing?
Better, for sure. It feels great to be out of the house and at the racetrack again. Obviously, there's a lot of support here from everybody. It does certainly suck, watching the cars go out there, and not necessarily that I want to drive it, just the lack of how much I can help our team. I feel like I can't do enough, and so that kind of sucks, but it's certainly great to be at the track.
Well, it's great. It's really great to see you here. I know, have you sat with or have you talked to Andreas and Yoni and, talked them through how you do so well in that car?
Yeah, everybody talks. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm able to contribute for sure from a team strategy and how to help everything go fast and to talk with the drivers about things. But at the end of the day, it would be nice to be able to help out there, which I can't do, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, must be frustrating. But thanks for taking the time, and we're glad you're back on the mend.
Thanks.
I was having a chat with Scott earlier on. He's been playing a lot of PlayStation, I believe. Basically, he's particularly good at. I think he said Madden, which I think is a football game, is it? He said he was in the top 2% in the world, and I love the fact that he plays so hard that he has to compete even at that level. And yeah. But yeah, well, got to fill his time with something. It's a shame he's not in the car.
Hurt,
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame he's not in the car. We would have liked to have seen him in. Sorry, we're just sticking things back down to the table. It's only about a forced 9 gale up here. Yeah, Bucky, you must have had some injuries over your career, certainly from skateboarding.
Nah. When your knees do this, let me show you what my knee does.
Oh, dude.
I mean, look at me. I'm not going to be. It's a good thing I'm talented because I'm not going to be a model anytime soon.
You're still skating, though?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
What's it like when you're sitting on the sidelines? But I guess you've missed a major competition or 2 through the years, have you, from skating?
Yeah, it's called not qualifying.
Okay. Right, enough of that. We've got cars on the grid. Let's get down to the grid. Here we go. Semi-final 2 is on the line for ARX 2. Let's take a look at the cars in this one. Fraser McConnell, the championship leader on the front row, with Alex Keys, who's been super fast here again this weekend. And row 2, Gray Ledbetter and Michael Leach. So it should be a good fight. I think this will be 2 fights of 2 cars. Gray versus Michael to make it through to the final. And it should be very much Fraz versus Alex on the front row to see who's going to get onto the front row with Connor Martel. Eyes on the lights, here we go. Good start, Fraser McConnell on the inside. Brilliant start, Gray Ledbetter coming up the inside of Alex Keys. Alex Keys surely going to go joker from there, but Gray's gone too. Alex gets run wide, Gray Ledbetter going to make the undercut. Michael Leach looking to come past. Gray's going to try and hold on to that P2. She does. So Gray Ledbetter holds on to P2. And I could well be wrong here, Bucky. So Alex Keys, if he wants to get up a row, is going to have to pass Gray on track. He's going to have a look at the inside of the hairpin. Not going to make it stick there. Go on, Gray.
Don't get out on the marbles, Keys. Don't get out on the marbles.
Brilliant start by Ledbetter from row 2, wasn't it?
Amazing decision to push everyone out into the joker there.
I think so too, and that's what I was talking about earlier on. I think sometimes, because you know then they can't out-tactic you, she knows probably that Keys is a tiny bit quicker on pace, but Keys going to look up the inside, and there you go. Little bit more experience.
She's staying in there.
Runs a little bit wide on the dirt. She's just going to hold off Michael Leach now. So Gray Ledbetter in P3 needs to keep it clean. Hold off Michael Leach and she'll stream up the final. Keys, though, is going to chase McConnell. If I were McConnell's crew, I'd think about jokering him now, Bucky.
Yeah, Gray needs to just follow Keys, and Keys, I don't know what to do about Fraser. Fraser is he's going to just run away with this.
3.3 is the gap now. It was 3.4, so at the minute Keys is looking quicker. They should send him, and they do. So into the joker lap goes Fraser McConnell. Alex Keys on the standard lap. Look for Fraser in the background. There he is. And Alex will see that he's been beaten at that point. So Keys now going to try and get to the back of Fraz. They take a much tighter line into there than Conor Martel. Martel was rounding off that corner much deeper and a way more traditional racing line.
Martel was using more of the tarmac for braking. So if you go on the inside there, the car will have a lot of attitude and carry that onto the dirt, and you'll just track out. Where Conor does all the braking on the tarmac, gets the car pointed, and he can get on the accelerator, the gas, and get out of that turn.
Fraser McConnell bangs it down a gear into the first corner. Getting the job done here. Let's see if I can take a look at the standings and see who's closest to him. ARX 2, McConnell, it's Keats, Martel and Keys. Yeah, so Keats, Martel and Keys. Keys is on 90, Martel was on 97, Keats on 120, and Fraser McConnell was on 141. Of course, that was before qualifying, and Fraz, having taken the TQ spot, would have extended that lead by a couple of points. But he just wants to keep it super clean, Bucky, and go to Mid-Ohio with not too much. It's a double header, anything can happen, and he retired, didn't he, from one of the Mid-Ohio races with broken steering at the start of the year. He'll know that.
Anything can happen.
Getting through to the final is certainly a very good way to limit any potential points loss once you're in the final.
As a racer, you never give up. The person in front of you could get a time penalty, and that little bit of lift of you giving up will give up hope for you to carry on.
Keys now just 0.9 behind. Looking at the lap times, Keys dipped into the 36s. He did a 36.9 on the last lap. So Fraz is 37.5, but Fraz doesn't have to take any risks. They're going to finish in this order, I think. He can save the risks for the final when he's up against Martel. You weren't in Canada, I know, Bucky, but
he's learning. He's probably learning some stuff right now, as we speak.
We had brilliant fights in Canada between Martel and Fraser McConnell, and for the first time, Fraser kind of edged Conor, and I think that was a real big confidence boost to Fraz. To beat last year's champion on track in a great race. Keys goes out wide, going to try for the undercut onto the dirt section. Hasn't quite got enough pace to close it down, but interesting that he tries that. And look at the difference in pace through the gravel, but it's McConnell that wins semi-2. Keys right behind him, filling his mirrors up, saying, I'm going to give you some more of that when we come to the final. Gray Ledbetter takes third place to go through, and Michael Leach is in fourth. Great drive by Fraser McConnell. Championship leader TQ Man wins his semi-final. Confirmation of that win for Fraser McConnell. Alex Keys, P2, Gray Ledbetter is third. Michael Leach a couple of seconds outside the spots for the final. So off the start, look, just a mega start by Fraser McConnell, but a brilliant start too by Gray Ledbetter. Yeah, amazing start by Gray. It's crazy how good of a start Fraz got there, and he just walked everyone by a car and a half. See, Fraz has been spending a lot of time, hasn't he, with the Ericssons, Ollie Eriksson, Kev Eriksson, who both come up through RX2, and Ollie Eriksson, his starts are always mega. Right. And it's that thing of when to pull the gear, like at just the right RPM to make sure the momentum continues, and Fraz just seems to have that nailed for me. Can't wait to see the fight between him and Conor. Should be a good final. Fraser McConnell has gone through to the front row, and he's going to face Conor Martel. Oh, it's us, sorry. We thought you were going somewhere else, but you're more than welcome to join us open in the commentary box again. James is with Fraz. Let's go down and see him now.
Fraz, I'm being conscious of your time here. I know it's a quick turnaround, but that seemed to go exactly according to plan, winning the race.
Yeah, man, I know that was our plan. Unfortunately, I heard my teammate Bradley Burt, who's no longer in the final. It's a real shame, but that means we're going to be starting pole in the final. So I'm going to bury my head down, stay focused, and I'm going to head off now and cool the car down for the final.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So he wants to cool the car down. You know, semi-final 2, you want to be in semi-1 because you just get that extra 10 minutes. Semi-2, they really don't have a lot of time to turn it around.
No bad damage, no one, so that's good.
But cool the brakes, get everything set.
Yeah, yep.
Chill out
Check
for a bit.
Check the fluids.
Yep. Okay, cool, there you go. He's been there, he's done a few semi-finals and finals over the years. We've got Supercar coming up next. I can see them rolling into the grid just over here now, lining the cars up for a bit of a tyre warm. I think the semi-finals were pretty clean from ARX2. Are you expecting the same from ARX?
I think the gloves are going to come off, for sure. I think McCoy's gloves are already off.
Yeah, McCoy's had his gloves off all week. He took them off, didn't he, on Friday night. and got stuck straight in. Foust onto the grid.
This is where it's about being aggressive, but not over-aggressive to where you're going to have some, you know, you're going to have the Stewarts come in and regulate your race.
Yeah.
So
if you're going to make a pass, it's got to either be, it can be firm.
A rubbing pass is what I would like to call it.
Yeah. Or like 100% up the, we saw him with, if you're 100% up the inside and a bit of contact, fair go. But you can't just.
Yeah, you got to be past front wheel, past the mirror of the car is good for me to attack.
So ARX semi-finals are coming up next. Semi-final 1 for ARX Supercar from round 5 at COTA is on the line and ready to go. Here's the lineup. Tanner Foust with the TQ spot. Chris Atkinson trying to close down the championship points gap before the final rounds. Likewise for Sandell and Jonny Weeman there to assist as well. It's 3 Subarus versus 1 Volkswagen. Foust then needs to get a clean start, get away in front of these guys. If he can get to the first corner first, he'll definitely take that inside line. Eyes on the lights already. He's had great starts all weekend. He needs another couple to round the job off. And Foust gets another brilliant start. He's going to go straight to turn 1, surely. He does, he goes inside line. 2 of the Subarus go straight around the outside and 1 to the inside. So it's Weeman and Atkinson that have gone joker, and it's Sandell, you can see, with the yellow across the top of the screen and the yellow wing end plates, who goes on the standard lap. So Sandell has gone with Foust.
Sandell had a good start as well, and he had really good momentum going into the Joker, so this is going to be a close one.
Tanner Foust is looking super comfortable in that car, Bucky. He said it earlier today. He said they've had the car for 6 years. You know, you'd think it's, well, look, it is towards the end of its life. We know that. But the development Volkswagen have put into that car is just incredible, and it's fitting him like a glove. So, yeah, we're seeing the Foust that we saw last year now. We saw it in Canada, and we're seeing it again here. He's really piling the pressure on. He wants a championship, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is dialed in. He is consistent. He's not wild child. He's not, like, hucking the car around. He is composed, as a champion should be.
Well, don't want to give him the commentator's curse too early, do we? Tanner Foust has still got, of course, Mid-Ohio in just a week's time. Look at that, so close, so accurate. So I suppose Sandell here is in danger, isn't he, from Atco, because Atco's certainly not going to give up the spot. Weeman down in P4 would have given up his spot to either of these two anyway, so Weeman now is not going to make a move. Absolutely no way.
I actually thought it was Sandell that went into the Joker, but it was Atco that went into the Joker, and man, he went in there flying. So he's caught up to the back of Sandell. And
oh, mistake from Weeman there at the back. Manages to avoid the wall though. Foust every inch of the track, keeping it smooth. It's committed through there. I like the last little chicane on gravel. Foust's going to stay out. Sandell, I suppose, really has got to try and gap Atkinson, hasn't he? So, I mean, what's the gap at the minute? It's about 1.8. He needs to extend that so that he can get in and out of the Joker ahead of Atco, because he wants, yeah, what Sandell doesn't want is for Subaru to put all their money behind Atkinson at the last round. You know, well, if Atco comes out here closer.
Can you imagine if Atco and Sandell bang into each other right now? The two going for the championship?
And we did see it, of course, back at Mid-Ohio, Joker lap merge.
It's happened before.
They'll be extra careful, I'm sure. Someone will have had a word about them with that. Sandell surely touched the wall there, Bucky.
Got away with it.
Just about. So Patrick Sandell taking risks. He's going to have to go Joker on the last lap, and at the minute Atkinson is only 1.6 back. So Chris Atkinson is chasing down Patrick Sandell and should get the overlap unless Sandell does an amazing Joker. So keep your eyes on that gap at the top. It's about 1.5 now, look, between Sandell and Atkinson. Foust is going to go Joker on this lap too.
I got my eyes on that gap between Foust and Sandell. Woo!
Yeah, he's done it, hasn't he? It's a big job here by Tanner Foust, has really shown what the Beetle's capable of. Wonder if they're saving tyres for the final or not. Here's the merge. Sandel's going to get it. Brilliant job by Patrick Sandel. There was only 1.5 in it, and he still comes out in front of Atco.
That was great racing by Sandel. Good lap. Good lap.
Gets on the brake early, holds on tight. Atkinson, I think, would have thought that he got him there, but he wasn't quite close enough, so Sandel manages to hold on, but it's Tanner Foust who's going to win semi-final 1 and go through to pole in the final. Behind him, Sandel and Atkinson, who are chasing him in the points totals, make it through as well, and Jonny Weeman, 4th place. We won't see him in the final this week. Great job by Tanner, TQ and semi-final 1 win. Looking in terms of points, obviously he's taken a point off them a couple of points off them in qualifying. He's now taken another point off Sandel and 2 points off Atkinson here. Come the final, the win bucket would give him 8 points over 5 for P2. So, it'd be another 3, and I think that would put him in a really good position going to Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, thumbs up, Tanner. Thumbs up on a job well done. Looks like it's a good day for Tan Man today.
Got one more start to get right, hasn't he? He's got to get one more beautiful start like he's had so far this weekend. If Foust can get that in the final, could be job done.
Look how clean that Beetle is.
Tidy. Foust rolling back to the paddock. There you can see the return road. They cross over the start, finish straight. Is the result of semi-final number 1. Tanner Foust takes it, and he takes it with an impressive margin of 2.4 seconds. So looking good for the final. Sandel P2, Atkinson P3, and Jonny Weeman goes 4th, and we won't see him in the final.
Tanner, I feel like he's just taking his helmet off here. I'll give him a sec. But Tanner, I feel like I can't get away from you this weekend. We've been interviewing you so much, mainly because you're always coming off the track first, but that strategy that we talked about earlier looked like it worked.
I don't get to talk to you enough. Yeah, it's not been the case this year, so we definitely are getting off the line really well, and that's a key with this track. Also, the Beetle is very drivable, and while the dirt looks grippy because it's got a little bit of rubber on it, it's very, very icy, so you have to really have good engine management in order to be able to have good throttle management. If the car is easy to drive, it's easy to go fast. So hats off to Volkswagen R and Andretti for doing that. That's really the key.
Okay, well, I'm conscious of your time here, so go back and get ready for the final. Congrats.
So another look at the start, and it was another absolutely perfect one for Tanner Foust. You get the impression there, Bucky, that Subaru had already discussed what was going to happen in terms of who was going to go where, because that nobody checked up early or had to think about what they were going to do. They just went to their positions. I guess if they'd beaten Foust off the line, maybe it would have been different.
Yeah, it would have been slightly different. If they would have got Tanner off the line, yeah, Subaru probably would have did things a little different.
Now, I really thought that Atco was going to manage to get past Sandel, but Sandel really got an absolutely perfect joker to hold on to that position. Great job.
I don't know how and where he made up the time, but he did it, and hats off to Atco or Sandel.
Semi-final 2 coming up next to decide the final 3 spots for round 5 of ARX. Semi-final 2 is checking up onto the grid now. Front left, you can see Andreas Bakkerud. Snackerud is enjoying many a taco. Said he's been having tacos for breakfast, Bucky. Is that the done thing?
I don't know.
I'm down with it.
He seems kind of on fire right now.
It did. Maybe that's
is this the answer?
Lit
under him.
Is this the answer? It's tacos. This is how we get to be pro.
Yeah, I mean, if it's doing it for Bakkerud, Snackerd, I'd load up some tacos
we're gonna
for
have
breakfast.
Tacos. We're going tacos.
Right.
Tacos tonight. Maybe we'll go take a little scooter race or something. We're going to go see the bats. Do you want to go see the bats tonight under the bridge? Yeah, for that? No? Congress Bridge? Not a big fan of bats?
You are?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go have a look. Yeah,
just,
thousands of bats apparently fly out just after sunset.
I'll stand behind you and watch.
Right. They heard it here first. Bucky Lasek slightly afraid of bats. That's all good. Here's the grid for semi-final number 2 from Kota. On the pole, Andreas Backerud here to help the other Subaru driver. He's going to need to make it through to the final if he's going to be able to do that. Cabot Bigham, though, looking to try and help Tanner, of course. And then row 2, Steve Arpin and Travis Pecoy. So one of these guys isn't going to make it. And Pecoy and Arpin are going to be full send to make up for a pretty miserable weekend so far. Marshall ready to release the cars. Thumbs up. What's Pecoy going to do? He's had some great starts. Arpin has too. We know that car's fast. They've got to outmaneuver Bigham or Backerud in front to make it through to the final. Here we go. Good start. Pecoy on the outside. Brilliant start. Backerud going to get to turn 1 first and turn in. Pecoy coming around the outside. Going to surely try and undercut. He does. Pecoy just gets underneath him. But around the outside, Cabot Bigham holds on to the spot. Pecoy going to go deep and on the handbrake. Pecoy's going to try and straighten up the exit here. Watch for Travis Pecoy in the background. Going to try and get alongside. Backerud leads from Arpin. Pecoy with a huge jump. But he's not going to be quite close enough. Cabot Bigham currently in P3. Backerud in the lead.
Arpin is all over the back of Backerud. Let's see if he can reel him in here, or if Backerud's just going to get after it with that tacos.
Going to be very interesting to see what Backerud does in the final. Like with, I think it's going to depend where Foust is. You know, if Backerud was in front of Foust and the guys were behind, then they might as well leave him there because he can nick 3 points off Foust. They don't want Foust to take 8 and lose 3 points, do they? Basically, that's the ultimate. But if Backerud is behind Foust, then I think he'll have to give up his positions to his Subaru teammates, Bucky. We've seen him have to give up positions already this weekend. He's up for that. He knows the deal. He's here as, you know, as a professional driver. He's got to get the job done.
Oh yeah, he's a hired gun.
Yeah, hard gun out front in semi-final 2. He's doing a great job, isn't he? Arpin to Bigham. The gap is, what, 1.3 seconds at the minute. Look at the dust in the background. Pecoy is trying everything to try and get past Bigham. These two have jokered. Travis, I'm sure, would have preferred it if he'd jokered on his own. Has a look up the inside this time, Travis Pecoy. Bigham's keeping it pretty tidy, though. Huge step up in pace from Cabot in recent events.
Oh, yeah, and he's really come into this Volkswagen Beetle in the last couple of races. He did really good in Canada.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely fantastic drive in his semi-final and then in the final, too. Just suddenly seems comfortable in the car. And they're on to the back of Arpin, look. So Backerud at the minute is looking like he's safe. I wonder if has Arpin got a problem, or has he just not got the pace of these two? Arpin's looking like he might miss out here, Bucky.
He possibly could.
So Backerud leads, Backerud leads. Pecoy's dropped a little way off, so it's basically either Arpin or Pecoy that isn't going to make it. So one of the two teammates is not going to come through. And he goes Joker now, so into the Joker lap goes Steve Arpin. Backerud's going to wait until the final lap. Where's Arpin going to come out? Pecoy, I think, is going to beat him to it. Pecoy's clipped the barriers on the inside, though. And Arpin says, thanks very much, I'm having that space. Pecoy won't hit his own team owner and team boss, I'm sure.
No, he was there to fight for that turn, but he wasn't quite there to fight his teammate for that turn.
Fair bit of damage on the front of Pecoy's car as well, maybe from where he just clipped the barrier a second ago. Andreas Backerud is leaning on the WRX STI big time. Just looking at the lap times, Foust dipped into the 34s. Mind you, so did Sandell and Weeman too. So Backerud is managing low 35s. So Backerud comes out in front of Cabot Bigham. Bigham's having a look up the inside, nearly drops it on the brakes. That really would be helping Tanner out, but... So Cabot Bigham looking quick here. Andreas Backerud gonna hold on, surely. He's just got a couple of corners to go. He backs the Subaru in. On the throttle, through the gravel section. Andreas Backerud is gonna take the semi-final win in Semi-2 for Subaru. Cabot Bigham goes P2 and Arpin goes through in third. Pecoy drops to fourth and won't make it through to the final. So it's going to be Backerud versus Foust. Looking at the lap times at the minute, you'd have to vote in favour of Foust. But I tell you what, Backerud wasn't far off. His first lap was a 34. after that, consistently in the low 35, so it's going to be a fantastic final. Semi-final number 2, won by Andreas Backerud on his debut for Subaru Motorsport USA. Cabot Bigham gets P2 to support Tanner Foust. And then we've got Steve Arpin going through in third. His teammate Pecoy is out. So off the line, look, Pecoy got such a good start, and I guess he's hoping now Bigham's going to go right, because then I think that would have sent him through to the final. But when Bigham beat him in there, we didn't actually see it. He tried the undercut, didn't he? But he couldn't pull it off. No,
he got out in the loose surface and just hung it out there too much. But look, you can't even squeeze a piece of paper between Pecoy and that chicane.
No, he's really going close to the barriers, wasn't he? Totally risking it. And they'll say we saw a little bit of damage on his car later in the race. And maybe it was from there. But this was Backerud coming out in front. Tidy job by Andreas Backerud. He's done exactly what they've asked. He's got a car through to the final, and he can support his teammates there.
Andreas, back to your winning ways. This is nothing new to you, though. You've won so many semis in your career, but it must be a little different in this new series for you.
It definitely is. I mean, like, the guys are giving me a hard time, so still getting used to everything. I feel like now the launch is really good, so I try to learn as much as I can. And just a big thanks to Subaru for giving me the opportunity to race here, and I'm going to give it all in the final and try to chase down Tanner. Tanner, I'm coming for you.
Great. Good luck in the final, Andreas.
2 finals coming up then, ARX 2 followed by ARX. Who's going to win round 5? So semi-finals done and dusted, and very much, I mean, for me, Tanner's looking favourite. Those lap times, Bucky, are incredible. Look, 34.6. He was around 3 seconds quicker, 336.0 compared to Backerud's 339.1. So, you know,
a little bit of a margin there, you know.
3
like hopefully,
seconds, yeah.
Yeah, they got to get racy with Tanner. If he just walks away like that again.
Yeah, he's checked out, hasn't he? Basically, he's checked out up front.
Do.
Did he, in terms of tyres, it does depend a bit, of course, on whether they've saved any freshies for the final, like whether or not you might have used up those to get a good result in the semi. Once you're into the final, you're guaranteed you're not going to lose too many points, and I think the Subaru were hoping that he wouldn't make the final. That's the best way, isn't it, for them to close down the points gaps, is for Tanner not to make it.
Yeah, but when you're launching like Tanner right now and just leaving the field before turn 1, I mean, there's a lot to say about that. It's going to be hard to attest to that. But here we have Pecoy.
Yeah. So maybe that's why he dropped back a bit.
It could be that damage. I believe that Arpin came in on that corner, and Pecoy probably wanted it, but then when Arpin was there.
Fluids, look, Bucky.
Yeah, there's some
fluids underneath the car, so.
He spent it, huh? Maybe that damage, I don't know what's on that side of the car.
I mean, that's looking like oil, isn't it? So either transmission or engine oil.
You think it went? I mean, he made the end of the race, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. What are you thinking? Whether maybe the end has blown the motor? Well, the thing is, it could be anything, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Transmission, oil cooler, could be anything. Okay, so Pecoy then doesn't make it through, and I say a bit of a problem for him. The team have got a few days to get that turned around. Of course, it is tight. This is the tightest turnaround we've had in ARX this year. So, like 6 days they've got to get from here as well. How long's the haul from here to Mid-Ohio? Long enough.
Yeah, it's long enough. It's a few hours. It's good.
Yeah, so they've got to put some work in the trucks to get the car up there. They'll have to choose whether they want to re-prep here or whether they want to re-prep once they get to up to Mid-Ohio and get things set up there. So we've only got finals to go. You've already heard how the drivers prepare themselves for the semi-finals. Of course, the final's different again. The semis, you just want to make it. The final, there's only one place you want to be. That's the top step.
At this point, no holds barred. You have 6 laps to make it all happen, and there's no time for waiting around.
If you're starting in the back, it's no longer time to make friends. It's business time.
When you win, you can't get that feeling anywhere else.
Absolute no hold bars. This is where you either go home a winner or you just go home.
I believe if you're Tanner Foust, you go home a winner no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. Tanner's winning. Hashtag winning. Very much looking forward to this. We've got pretty much all the fast guys made it through. I'm sorry for Brad DeBerti. Would like to see Brad in the final. Good to see Gray Ledbetter make it. Sage Karam, you know, he got stuck in big time earlier this year. Sage got stuck in with Fraser. It was kind of, there was a bit of animosity at first, and then I think they actually chilled and made friends, didn't they? Because it was like, okay, cool. But it should be a great race. Here we go. Let's take a look at the grid for the final of ARX2 from COTA. On the pole, Fraser McConnell, the championship leader, has been doing a great job this weekend. He'd love to take the win and just take a few more points. Connor Martel raced him hard in Canada. He lost out twice. He'll want revenge. Sage Karam raced super hard back at Mid-Ohio at the start of the season. Alex Keys has been quick but missed a round. These guys are all flat out. And then we've got Cole Keats and Gray Ledbetter looking to upset those front two rows as well. Getting super windy here again at COTA. Can't see too much in the way of cloud around. I think it's going to stay dry. We only need about another 20 minutes to get the dry racing done. Marshals are leaving the grid. We've still got, yeah, they're still cleaning up on the outside of turn one. So they're just dusting away. So where Pecoy's car was parked, they're just dusting turn one off with the leaf blowers. Marshall's got a hand up to the drivers, nervous times for them, and I can see the Marshal is back into the rescue vehicle now, so that rescue vehicle should be on the way any second now. As soon as we've got the track clear, we'll get going. Got another rescue vehicle at the moment out on the gravel jump as well, so won't be long. There we are. That one that's up in turn one. You're seeing that from over on the far side of the circuit. Doing a U-E, coming back round and Gonna park it up. UE, you guys do UEs,
Yeah,
don't you?
we do UEs.
Yeah, there you go. Oh.
We call them U-turns.
Well, yeah.
UEs for short, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
We knew. Final time for ARX2. They're all getting the thumbs up. Bit of damage on the front of Martel's car, not so much with Fraser McConnell. What's going to be the result of turn one here? Here we go. Great reaction time from Fraser McConnell on the inside. Sage Karam passes Connor Martel and pushes him out wide into the joke lap, so Martel didn't necessarily go. The Keys is underneath them. Alex Keys, they're going to get past Martel. Oh, Keys runs deep, so Keys runs across, and there's contact there with Gray Ledbetter. Alex Keys has lost out to Gray Ledbetter again and drops back down. And Martel was somewhat mugged there. Sage Karam's the man who's got away with the most there, Bucky.
Yeah, Sage moved up quite a bit. He's in the top three now.
He's just past Keats as well, so Cole Keats, has Keats got a problem?
Keats is out.
Yeah, Keats is out, so Keats pulls off the side of the road, so Sage Karam has jokered and immediately moves up into P2.
Keys just passed Ledbetter. Oh, maybe not too cleanly.
So Ledbetter's been spun round. She's going to spin that car back out the gravel track. Go on, Gray. So Gray's going to catch up to Cole Keats. Sage Karam runs a little bit wide, looking the standard lap. Fraser McConnell's got a gap of 2.2. They're going to be watching that, and they'll try to get him back out in front of Sage Karam. We know Karam's fast.
Yeah, but we know Martel likes to put the hammer in there.
Martel, well, yeah, we saw some great passing from them, didn't we? Let's see if we can see a bit more great passing in this. And, of course, that's what Fraz wants too. He wants these two to get stuck into each other, Bucky, and he can check out.
Yeah, right now he's got a 2.4 lead over Sage.
It was 2.8 just a second ago, so I wonder if they're going to send him early. No, they're not, so they're confident he's got the pace. They're like, stay out, get the gap. What's it going to be? It's 2.4 still at the moment. Sage runs a bit wide again, different line by Karam in there, and then look at this. This is the line we were saying about with Martel. He always comes out really wide and gets the car straight early.
See how his car was straighter on the exit?
So better exit speed?
Yeah, better exit speed. But he won't be able to do that. He won't be able to do that same move if Keys is too close behind him.
Yeah,
because Keys will just go
you're
on the
opening
inside.
the door.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's that classic. There's a difference in there between the qualifying line and the racing line.
Yeah, you're going to want your spotter. If the car is far enough behind you, take the qualifying line. If they're close to you, you got to take the race line.
So they'll let you know what the gap is. Sometimes they talk in numbers. They'll say you've got a gap of 1, 2, or 3, and that can be anything. It can be one car length, or it might be 50 meters. The drivers all have different spotting terms.
Yeah, immediately my spotter would be like quali line, or race line,
really?
race line. Race line means
so race line meant defensive.
Yes.
Yeah, ace. McConnell has a 2.7 gap. It's fluctuating by a couple of tenths here, and it's down to 2.5. Sage Karam's on a big push now. So Fraser McConnell on lap 4 or 6. Does he go, or does he stay out? He stays out. So Fraser McConnell is going to stay out, try and get the laps done. Doesn't want to be under pressure, I guess, towards the end of the race, but it does depend whether or not Karam can close it down. What do we think he needs? I mean, it's around between 1.5 and 2. It's back up to 2.8, look.
I don't think he's going to have a problem. I honestly think he's got it cleared. He's running good laps. His times are there.
Yeah, up towards the gravel section again. He's going to go on to his last lap. Fraser McConnell.
They're trading tenths back and forth, so they're fairly evenly lapping.
Into the Joker lap goes Fraser McConnell. Quite tight on the way in. He's going to be looking to his right as he comes out the merge, but he's easily there. So Fraser McConnell anchors up into the left-hander, and Sage Karam now is going to have to pass him in these last few corners if he wants to take a win.
Sage likes this corner to pass in as well. Look at him setting it up.
Fraz, is he tidy? And there he is. Fraser McConnell has kept it tidy. Championship leader has done an absolutely brilliant job here. Fraser McConnell took the TQ, he took the semi-final, and now he takes his 4th win of the year and his 3rd in a row. It's a 3-peat for Fraser McConnell. P2 goes to Sage Karam, Connor Martel in 3rd. 3 wins in a row for the young Jamaican. Fantastic performance. Stamping his authority on the championship. There are 2 rounds to go. He can't win it here. But inside the car, you can see he's pumped on that result. Great job.
You think he's going to show it?
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to get a smile out of, you're going to get a smile out of him, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Very nice, Frizz. Yeah.
Yeah, good job. Super chilled. No damage on the car, no hassle.
What a day he had.
Fraser McConnell takes his 4th win of the season, then his 3rd in a row, 3:49.2. Look, it was close with Sage Karam, who tried really hard after great tactics in the first lap. Connor Martel gets P3, then it's Keys, Ledbetter, and Cole Keats. There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Very popular back at home in Jamaica. Oh, here we go. I thought we were going to go Sendy. So watch here for in Sage Karam on the inside of row 2. You can see Martel didn't want to go Joker, but Karam's like, that was great tactics because he had the inside. We spoke about this a couple of times now, Bucky. If you get the inside, you can force everyone outside you to go Joker.
You called it out right away. I was like, really? They're doing that on purpose?
Mate, if the commentary comes to an end, I think I'm going to go spotting, basically. That's why I'm going to get myself a job in the spotters town and annoy people up there with my shouting instead. So great job by Karam, straight up into P2. Tried his hardest to chase down McConnell, but as you can see, Fraser just had enough of a gap, and it's the Jamaican who wins.
Fraz and I just celebrating over here. Wow, what a win for you. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, man, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, everyone on the team, I want to hug everyone right now. The whole team is I couldn't do this without them. Dirtfish, Sandals have come on board. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful for everything that's happening right now. ARX put on a great show this weekend. The Kota fans were great. And I mean, you guys know it. This is what I do it for. Big up everybody. Love you guys.
Well, we'll let you celebrate now, but congratulations.
Big up, big up.
Good shit.
Big up, Team Fraz back home. Fraser McConnell leads ARX2 by a huge margin. He has a 33-point lead. He came in with a 21-point lead, so that is a fantastic performance. Of course, there are still 60 points up for grabs. Next weekend, doubleheader at Mid-Ohio. Cole Keats is in P2, Martel P3, Alex Keys P4. Then it's Ledbetter, DeBerti, Hildebrand, and Sage Karam, the top 8. Good job by Fraz there. You know, to come in with that lead, Bucky, he could easily have, you know, slipped up or relaxed a bit too much, but he's kept it safe, and yet he's still taken maximum points. Yeah.
He's so cool.
Every inch looking, every inch the professional driver to me. I mean, he really is looking very, very good indeed.
RX2, everyone drove a great race. No one slammed into each other. It wasn't chaos.
I wonder,
it's just clean racing.
Do you think we'll get the same from the supercar boys, or are the youngsters going to show them the way? I mean, we're going to find out pretty soon, aren't we, basically? But yeah, fantastic performance. So I'm looking to see if the supercars are even in the pre-grid yet. Yes, they are. So in the pre-grid on the back of of the Grand Prix circuit. So we've got just the final to come for you from the ARX Supercars, so don't go anywhere. One race left to go here in Austin. The final for the Supercars coming up next. Looking a little bit shady out there. I think that's just our camera, though. Don't worry, we're good. I'm surprised we got away with it. The forecast was for thunderstorms. If a thunderstorm comes, well, you might remember if you're watching in Canada, we got all fired up. We're like, yeah, we're going to go racing. And then we were like, oh, you have to evacuate the venue. It's like, you're kidding me. So
lightning with all the metal.
Not
and
allowed. Right, James is on the pre-group, we're being told. Let's go and see him.
I'm here with Steve Arpin. Day hasn't gone exactly as planned, but here you are in the final, as always.
Well, we got awesome race cars. This RDO Equipment Ford Fiesta is awesome. It just, when you're racing against some dude in race control, it's a hard battle, like when he just makes stupid calls all the time. But consistency is key, and he's awesome at that. He's been doing it his whole career. That's why he loses his job everywhere he goes. But it's going to be a fun race. It's like the United Nations over here, we're calling it. Subaru's got a whole bunch of cars. We're racing over here. It's like I never thought I'd be like teaming up with the VWs here to see what we can do, but it's going to be an interesting main. Like it's wide open for anything. It's Rallycross. Anything can happen. We're just going to see what goes on in this first corner.
Unfortunately, your teammate wasn't able to make the final. You think his car is okay, ready for the next round still?
Yeah, we had an engine issue there at the end of that race. How about that kid though? Like he is fearless. The kid is sticking it in places that so many people don't do. He has got into these cars and exceeded every expectation that everyone could have for him. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for that kid. This is the kind of situation where when someone comes up and shows their talent like that, shows what he's capable of, we need to get partners into the sport supporting him, and we need to get him opportunities to keep on going in this because the kid is such a pure talent.
Great. Well, we're excited to see him race next season, rest of this season, but also excited to see you in the final here. So good luck.
It's going to be a blast. It's Rallycross. I have won a bunch of races that I've won before from the third row, so this is nothing. It's smooth sailing.
I have faith in you, Steve.
And we got like 100 and some RDO guests here. They're such a good partner on the equipment side. We buy a ton of equipment for them for a parent company loan, bro. So to be able to partner up with them and just do this for them to show our appreciation for the service they give us on the equipment side, we got to put on a show. We got a lot of people here.
Great. Awesome. Well, good luck, Steve. Let's take a wander. I think Cabot's just here to my left. Cabot, can we grab a quick word with you? Yeah. So, Cabot, really good actually today after, some issues in qualifying, things like that. But the semi, you took second place. That's great.
Yeah, no, it was definitely what I wanted to do there. Passing Andreas was something that crossed my mind for sure, but I was like, we don't want to, miss out on the final just because of one extra spot here. So I'm really happy with second. The Andretti team, again, is working amazingly well, just getting the car to be fast for me and getting me up to speed still, But I'm really excited for the final, and this is the second final I made on my own accord, so that's a nice shiny trophy for me, I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, good luck today. So I'm gonna go try and find someone else here. Let's see who we can find. Thanks, Cabot. Let's see if we can grab Baccarid here. Can I grab you for a quick couple questions? Sure. So you got three of your teammates out there. What's the strategy in terms of staying out of each other's way?
I don't know yet. I'm just going to go for it. I mean, first of all, try to beat Tanner off the line and then try to pull a gap on him and then try to cross the finish line first. That's the ideal. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be hard. Tanner's been super successful all weekend or all day. And we have been a little bit behind all the time, so it's really going to be a hard final. It's all up to the start, I think.
Yeah, well, Tanner's had great starts all weekend, so I know that there's a somewhat complicated launch procedure in these cars. You think you've got the hang of it, though?
A little bit more, but now again, we just did a semifinal. The clutch is warmer, so I think, yeah, it's going to be harder this time.
Okay. Well, good. Well, good luck today, Andreas. Thank you for that. You've heard it from everyone here. Back up to you guys, Andrew and Bucky.
Thank you, James. Great work down there on the pre-grid, catching up with the drivers. Andreas, obviously, we mentioned earlier, it's quite a complicated start procedure, and jumping from one supercar to the next is probably worse than going one season to the next. Because last weekend he was in his ex-EKS Audi, in the World Rallycross Championship, and now he's in a factory Subaru over here in America a couple of weeks later.
Yeah, but driving is driving. And boy, he can drive.
He can, can't he?
He can drive.
Interesting what he said. I think he does have to beat Foust, because if he's not beating Foust, he's going to have to give up his places. So for me, I think if he's not in front of Tanner, he's not going to be on the podium.
That's his goal.
Yeah.
They're not going to pull him off. Yeah. They're going to let him win. And that's what he wants to do.
It's only if he's out in front. If he's out, but if he ends up P2 and the other two Subarus are behind, I know if you're a back fan, you'll be disappointed to see it. But this is what you do if you're a professional driver. Buck, if Subaru had said to you, "Will you sit in the car?" and then they say, "This is what we want you to do." Yeah. If you don't do it, you don't get to sit in the car again.
It depends on if they bring me back next season.
You heard it here first.
No, I would do it. Team order for sure.
Yeah, exactly. This is the unfortunate penalty sometimes of being a professional driver, isn't it? You don't always get, you don't
always get what you want. They make songs about that.
You can't always get what. Sorry. Okay, so we must be moments away from a final. Surely we're just kind of killing time, waiting to get everyone underway. People coming over the bridge. It's a decent vantage point up there, I have to say. You've got a bit of elevation, and that heads across towards the concert arena. There was a big concert here last night. There's some of the spotters up on the bridge. We've got some spotters up here in commentary with us. They've got timing screens, and then obviously they can see the track. One of the advantages of COTA is they don't really need the feed. So where you guys are watching the same feed that the spotters watch, in fact. They sometimes then have, we always have extra cameras. So we have CCTV cameras which cover any blind spots on the circuit. So obviously we as television follow the leaders or a good fight. If your man is not in that fight, then you want to see where he is. So they have extra CCTV pictures which show them each corner statically. So it's like a locked off camera. When you've got a compact circuit like this where you can actually visually keep eye contact with the car the whole way around the lap, you can go and stand somewhere with a good vantage point. So we often get that in the World Championship, and the same over here in ARX. People will go for somewhere up high where they can see the whole of the track and make their calls visually. Stopwatch is out as well, of course. This is it can still be quite analog, can't it? If you're doing the spotting, it's all very well looking at the screen, but you want to be just timing the gap between two certain people. I'm famous for terrible maths, but when you're looking at the splits live and you're trying to add up, is that 1.7 or 1.9? Oh, hang on, it's 2.7. So they're using a stopwatch, Bucky, and sometimes properly a notepad, old school.
Oh, yeah, and these guys are magicians, too. These spotters, they're like you. You know how you came up with that little strategy of pushing everyone out to the Joker? These are like con men on mics,
Yes, they are, aren't they?
They will put you,
that won't happen. Yeah.
Whatever it takes, they're going to put you up there,
They're going to sell you that.
Yeah.
You're going to get sold. Yeah, they're very, very good indeed. And there is a huge amount of strategy. They will have looked at things. Yeah, you look at if you win the start and you push everyone to the Joker, can it work?
Yeah.
What scenario does it work in? What doesn't it work in?
Well, they had a strategy of off the start, the lap is quicker if you took the Joker because of the speed you would carry on the normal lap. Remember that?
Yeah. Crazy.
That was insane.
Yeah,
to figure that out.
Yeah, they figure out you mustn't joker on lap 4, or you mustn't. Ideally, you don't joker on lap 1. So there are strategies. It's an uphill finish. You get a better run from here, but not from there. So yeah, the good spotters are really doing their homework. Look at Tanner. That is like okay. Now he backs it off a bit. Backrud pulls up alongside him. I have to say, start of the season, we weren't expecting to be saying Andreas Backrud in the factory Subaru pulling up next to Tanner Foust.
I like it, though.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Shame for Scott. We know that, and we wish Scott all the best. Speed strong, and we're looking forward to him coming back. Scott says he's hoping to be fully fit by January. So obviously he's not going to be in a car again this year. Do you think? What do you think is the strategy here? Do you think Backrud can get Foust off the? I guess it's going to be a response to the start, isn't it? Whether I would imagine there's two options. If you don't win the start, do you go straight to the Joker?
Well, I see Cabot behind. If Cabot's able to tuck in behind Tanner, that's bad news for Subaru.
Yeah, because good shout.
They got a buffer.
Yeah, they've got both the inside lines. Yeah, good shout. But 4 Subarus,
So technically, the Subarus might want to both, or the 3 Subarus might want to take the Joker not play, or maybe send one of them behind Cabot, kind of rough him up a little, you know, not rough him up, you know what I mean?
I know
like
exactly what you
mirrors.
mean.
We'll say just getting his mirrors.
See, the other thing they could do here is you could sacrifice Bigham. If Bigham gets a good start, you do what we saw Karam do in the ARX2.
Push everyone out.
Yeah, so force everyone. If he can get a good start, you force backward to go Joker, and you run him out wide in the Joker. That's it. Game over. Faust has won straight away.
Yeah.
Which would be a. But again, you know, and this is me and Bucky basically just pitching for if anybody needs a spotter, and we're not commentating. We're available for a very high day rate, obviously, with such incredible ideas. But seriously, this is the process. This is the process. Final time at round 5 of America's Rallycross 2019. Here's the lineup. Tanner Foust, the championship leader. Andreas Backerud, hired to help Subaru, is on the front row next to him. Row 2, Cabot Bigham and Patrick Sandell. And row 3, Chris Atkinson and Steve Arpin. So how are the tactics going to play out in this one? Thumbs up from the marshal at the front. If Backerud wins the start, does he go standard lap? If he loses the start, does he go straight to the Joker? Can Bigham do anything to force all the Subarus out into the Joker on the first lap? We're about to find out. Here we go. Eyes on the lights, ready to race. Revs up. Great start, Tanner Foust again. Cabot Bigham with a reasonable 1-2. And Backerud turns in on Bigham straight away. Bigham ends up almost in the tyres. Backerud's up the inside of Foust. Andreas Backerud takes the lead. Backerud has managed to pass Tanner Foust in turn 1. So Andreas Backerud does that. Foust now back up on the inside of Backerud. Contact between the two of them. Foust in P2's going to have to hang back just a little bit in the background. One of the Subarus. Looks like Atko's got up to P3. Foust tries to rotate early, but it's Backerud in the lead.
Well, there you have it. Andreas got what he wanted.
A mega pass off the start, like just really incredible. After we'll have to look at the replays. Backerud leads then from Foust. So now it's going to come down to tactics about whether or not they can get Foust out. They can't really do anything with Tanner when the other Subarus are so close. Backerud runs a bit wide.
He's hanging it out there. He's overdriving just slightly, but what else are you going to do? You got Tanner Foust trying to pass you right now.
So Backerud still leading from Foust. We think Cabot Bigham stopped, so Cabot Bigham has stopped, so he can't do anything to support Tanner.
Tanner's really attacking that rear wheel. I hope he doesn't hit it too hard.
He's got more pace, so I think Tanner's got just a tiny, well, we know he has from the semi-final times, he's got more pace, but if Backerud can keep the door shut, Tanner can't really do any Joker strategy because the other Subarus are right there behind him. Perfect situation. He has a look, so he gives a little nudge to Backerud. Are we going to get the stewards involved here? Be careful, guys. And Foust gets back past Backerud. So a little nudge in the side door. Backerud now going to give Foust another push. He puts Foust in the wall. Foust nearly in the wall. Just comes back across. Backerud on the loose. Atko's right there with them now. Sandell on the back of this train is already jokered.
Yes. This is an amazing race. Everything, the strategy to the Joker from the start of the race, this is amazing.
I can hear the crowd going mad as well. You can hear the cheering. Fantastic. Foust under extreme pressure here from Backerud. Tanner has no choice now for me but to stay out front. He's got to gap them. He's got to put in the laps he was putting in the semi-finals, Bucky. He needs a gap.
Cabot's out. Cabot's not there to help his teammate.
And the Subarus are line astern behind him, so Backerud's right up behind Tanner as they come through the hairpin. So I'm looking at the gap back to Sandell. This is the important gap for me. Is Patrick Sandell at 1.8. He's the man who can take the win away from Foust. Foust runs the car out super wide. 3 laps to go. Well, we're on to the final 2 laps, and none of the front 3 have joked. A little bit of damage to the back of Sandell's car. It's just a bumper skin. Round. Oh, who's gone round? It's Atko. Atko spun, so Atko drops out. That's given Sandell a bit of breathing space. So Sandell now can close it down, but the gap's gone up. Gap's gone up to 2.4. Did he have to avoid Atko?
He might have had the lift right there. Or did those guys get into each other a little?
So Tanner Foust out front with Backerud right behind. Into the hairpin and away. Foust going to run out wide across the tarmac again. Backerud following him. Sandell is in there too. 2.3 seconds should be enough for Tanner Foust, Bucky.
It should be. He has to keep it clean. Don't overdrive.
Threads it through that gravel section. Out onto the Joker lap. Watch for Sandell on the inside. Tanner Foust on the outside. Patrick Sandell going to be trying to find the traction in the Subaru. There he is. But Foust is in front. Tanner Foust is in front. There's a cheer from the crowd. They're loving the racing. Sandell gives him another nudge. How much blue paint on the side of the Volkswagen. Been a great race out front. into the hairpin. Tanner Foust got to try and hold on for a couple more corners. I don't think Sandel's going to be stupid. And apart to the side of the road is Chris Atkinson, so Atco is out as well. Tanner Foust around the right-hander. We've had 4 different winners in 4 events so far this year, but Tanner Foust is going to become the first double winner of the year to stamp some authority on the championship, and a huge celebratory drift from Tanner Foust at Kota. Send it, Tanner! Brilliant result for Foust. Absolutely fantastic, perfect weekend. He takes the TQ, the semi-win, and the final. It's 30 points for Foust. He goes to Mid-Ohio as the favourite for the 2019 championship. Sandel gets P2. Baccarat drops to 3rd place. Brilliant.
Take a breath.
Oh.
Take a breath. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
It's brilliant, wasn't it?
That was so good.
I wonder, just looking at what's under investigation, 2 and 13 is under investigation. That's Bigham and Baccarat, so that might be. That looks like turn 1, but we could hear the crowd. I hope you guys could at home, because that was great, Bucky.
Yeah, that was so sick to watch, and I'm glad I got to watch it in the position I'm at.
We are very lucky. We have a good view. We have a good view. I'm looking forward to next week. That's my favourite commentary box next week, end of the straight. Thumbs up from Tanner Foust as he takes his 2nd win of the year. Fist pumping, nodding in the car. Advantage Foust in the championship fight for 2019. Foust taking the win and a crucial 8 championship points. Patrick Sandel gets 2nd place. That puts him, in my mind, as the favourite for Subaru to challenge Foust at the last round. Andreas Baccarat, a great job by him on his debut to get 3rd place. Arpin gets 4th. Atkinson and Bigham are DNFs. So that was interesting. I'm looking at the screen and just waiting to see if anything's going to come up. So we're seeing number 2 and number 13 under investigation. That's Baccarat and Bigham. There was contact between those 2 off the start. I need to see the replays because I can't quite get my head around how Baccarat had contact with Bigham and then got Foust.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to watch it again.
Great race, though. And to be fair, I mean, Subaru gave Foust some hell there, which they should. They want to win, but Foust held on as well, and he's going to be stoked to have held. You know when
that
you
pace
know
he had was incredible.
Yeah, and you know he's been in a fight there. This is the thing, isn't it? It's not just a great win. Like, he's been in a proper brawl there, like with contact, and he's going to know that holding on to take the win, he's just mega. So fantastic job by Tanner Foust to take it ahead of a couple of Subarus. Ace. Let's take a look back. So this was the start look. Bigham on the inside. Look at Baccarat, shuts the door on Bigham. So then what does he do? Yeah, but then it's like Foust almost gets on the bar. Does he on the way in? It's hard to see how Baccarat managed to find the gap, but he did.
I think with all the rubbing and stuff, it just it sent cars in different directions. It sent Tanner out a little bit, and Andreas was able to get in.
I tell you what, Tanner was given as good as he got through there, wasn't he? There was a bit of contact there as well.
A little late on the brakes.
Oh, Baccarat's been given a 5-second penalty. Andreas Baccarat has been given a 5-second penalty, and that's going to drop him behind Steve Arpin. So Arpin's going to get the podium, but to be fair, in the championship fight, that doesn't really make any difference. It's a shame for Andreas. Look at this. This was when I thought Tanner was going to end up in the wall, and somehow he didn't. So so Atco spins, and then Atco retired after that. So looking at the amount of smoke off the rear there, Bucky, I think a transmission issue maybe.
Yeah, look at the smoke. Something happened where the car just spun on itself.
So Sandel, managed to get Baccarat when they went to the Joker, but Baccarat's been given that penalty, was going to drop him back. No penalties for Foust. It's a brilliant 2nd win to stamp some authority on the series. Great stuff. Fantastic performance from Foust. I say, good race. 5-second penalty for Baccarat. I think, to be fair to the stewards, they did that to Arpin earlier on, and they've just done it to Baccarat. So, I think Arpin's argument of the blue cars don't get penalised kind of doesn't stand up now, and fair play to the stewards for that.
And I don't think it was real. I think Arpin's just a little heated right now. I think he's taking it out, being a little hot-headed, but yeah. It happens.
Andreas doesn't know yet, we think, obviously, about the 5-second penalty. He's going to be disappointed not to get the podium. I think the good thing is for Baccarat and for Weeman next weekend, Bucky, is that by the time we get to semi-finals and finals time, that we're going to be in a position, I think, where I can't remember what the gap is with Tanner. Let me have a look at the gap for Tanner coming here.
Well, these guys are going to be sorting out their starts, too, in between that time.
Yeah.
They haven't had any seat time in these cars.
No, exactly. So it's going to be fascinating. When we're going to Mid-Ohio, obviously, for the last round. Foust came here. He was 5 points behind speed, but you can forget that. He was 9 points ahead of Sandell and Atkinson. He's then had a perfect weekend, so he scored 30 points. We know Atko's just retired in the final. We know he beat them in the semis, and we know he beat them in quali. So Foust is going to have extended his lead. I reckon it'll be somewhere in the region of 15. We'll take a look in a second. So that means he goes there, advantage him. I'm quite looking forward to the semis and the finals there, because I reckon by the time qualifying's over, we're going to be in a position where Baccarat and Weeman can probably not have team orders and can go for the win.
Yeah, and go for a good fight.
Yeah.
It was there. Baccarat had it.
Yeah.
You know, he did the right move, and it was a good, clean fight.
Good job by Sandell as well, to be fair. I'm
was.
looking at it because I had thought that Baccarat had given the position up, but of course he hadn't. It came with his joker on the last lap. Sandell was close enough to those two out front.
Right. I still can't get over Tanner's starts.
No, Tanner's been killing it on the starts. He's going to have a tougher job next week. The start here is ever so slightly downhill. It's just over to our right, 10 degrees maybe, and then into a dip and uphill, whereas the starts at Mid-Ohio, Bucky, are uphill, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So, I don't know. It might play a different, you know, I don't know how these cars are, you know, weight biased or wheelbase biased, but it could play a part in it.
So we saw the Subarus getting incredible starts there at the start of the year.
Longer wheelbase, maybe better in dirt. You know, it all kind of benefits different things.
So this is the cars going through scrutineering at the end of the race. So they're being weighed. That's what those scales are there on the floor, Bucky. And this is a process that all the drivers have to go through at certain points during the event, but particularly when you're in the final.
Yeah, top 3 guys usually go in, get weighed, make sure everything's up to par.
Tanner Foust pulls into the winner's enclosure, Parc Ferme. Cheeky little 3-point turn. And the paddock, the podium is right in the paddock. So the Cooper Tires truck there, you can see, is the podium. And that's literally down among the fans. We've had Mexican bands playing down there today. There's been some dudes on guitars as well under a great big tent so people could get some shelter from the heat. Tanner Foust takes the win. First person to win twice this year, Bucky.
That's nice.
4 winners, 4 events. Now Tanner's taken 2 in a row, and you know that's also big momentum in his favour.
Sounds like a nice competitive race series to me when you got different winners from different.
Been brilliant, hasn't it? It's been super close, super close.
Good.
Nice to see there Sandell with a big hug for Tanner. Sandell will know he's got a lot to do come the final round. I'm trying to think where the points will be because I can't remember. Let me see who out-qualified who. Yeah, Atko out-qualified Sandell by 2 points, but then obviously Atko's going to have lost out on points in the final with the retirement. So Atko ended up in P5, whereas Sandell ended up in P2. Yep. Staff down there closing the barriers because they don't want anybody touching those cars. I'm sure we've sent James down there. We'll hopefully have a catch up with some of the drivers soon. They're pulling Atkinson's car. Is it back into the Subaru tent behind us? I think it is. So Baccarat by now, of course, will know that he's been given the penalty, Bucky, because he hasn't gone to Parc Ferme. So he will be disappointed. But as I say, at least it doesn't have any effect on the championship fight. It's good to see that we haven't seen any of the guys who are in that sharp end get some penalties.
He got to come to Austin, drive, eat tacos.
He did eat tacos.
Yeah, he had a blast.
So Steve Arpin then has been moved up into P3 thanks to that penalty for Andreas Baccarat, and he's with James Rimmer now.
Steve, not the most conventional podium, but I'm sure you'll take it.
Hey, with what we've been through today, I'll take this anyhow. So I'll tell you what, though, our guys, we showed up here with a completely different setup in the car. We were kind of on the fence. It's like, do we abandon it or do we keep on going with it after practice? And we just don't have the budget to go testing, so we decided to keep on going with it. Our guys work their tails off. We have like 150 RDO equipment guests here. We have RDO equipment maintaining the racetrack out there, building us an awesome racetrack. And I'm just so thrilled to be able to put this program together and partner up with RDO equipment. They take such good care of us on the oil and gas side of our business that for us to be able to do this for them as a thank you and host all of them here in Texas is just so awesome.
Great. Well, you must be incredibly happy. Go celebrate with your team.
I tell you, I'm going to have to go pop me some CBD gummies or something because that was a stressful day. I just need to chill out a little bit this afternoon.
Great. Well, go do that. Enjoy yourself.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to grab Sandell here.
James is working it,
I'm working it here.
Just grabbing people as fast as he can, and we'll get back down to him just as soon as we got
All right,
Patrick
I've got a sweat-soaked Patrick here. It's great seeing you on the podium. You know, you're one of our favorite faces to see on the podium, that smiling face of yours in that blue car. Tell us how you're feeling today.
Oh man, it's been a roller coaster day. You know, we came here and we really want to fight for the championship with Tanner, and Tanner just got a little bit better pace on this track. His launches have been incredible. So we have some homework to do for the next one. We have definitely not given up. This is Rallycross, and I know this is not over until after the final next weekend, but it feels good to put a Subaru up on the podium. I would have liked to be one step up, but that's a part of the game, and I'm super happy for the team anyhow. You know, the performance we showed throughout the whole season, we are always there now fighting, and that's a huge step for Subaru and for Mount Sports Car. So I'm so glad for them, and hopefully we can have a really, really good weekend next weekend.
We've seen huge steps from you and Subaru, so congratulations. We're going to go back up to Andrew and Bucky before we get with the winner, Tanner Foust.
Patrick Sandell very happy with his result, with his P2. And it does, as I say, Bucky, kind of make him he's got to be the favoured child now at Subaru. You know, I say we need to see the points. Once we see the points, we'll have a better idea of how much ahead of Atkinson he is, and then you've got to put everything behind him, haven't you? You've got to do everything you can to make sure that he is there if Tanner falters in any way.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And Sandell, he's proven to be the fast one, so yeah, I would say that he right now is sitting pretty good. But you got Tanner. You got to beat Tanner Foust.
Yeah.
With those kind of launches and
with the form he's in. Great form from Tanner. 2 wins in a row. Amazing. Right, let's take a look at the championship standings after round 5. Tanner Foust at the top of the table on 125 points. Patrick Sandell on 108. So that's a 17-point lead for Tanner Foust heading into the final round. Of course, 30 points up for grabs there. Chris Atkinson is very much still in the mix on 106. Then it's Arpin, Speed, Peacoy, Bigham, and Andreas Bakkerud.
The mission coming in was conserving and getting those championship points. You did just that. You took maximum points today in the final.
The Beetle was awesome today. Like, I mean, we won both practices, every heat, semifinal, and final. You can't ask for a better day. And that's up against the stiffest competition of the year with the most cars on track of the year. So it was, I mean, I can't believe that was a single day event. Felt like about 4 days, right? I'm sure for you as well. But I can't thank Andretti. I can't thank Volkswagen of America and VWR over in Germany and Rockstar enough. I mean, it's been a really tough journey coming in with a car that, you know, we basically carry over for last year. And it just shows the engineering prowess that we have here with this car. So I love driving it. This track is small and short, and there's a lot going on, a lot of chaos in the final there with Bakkerud. But, you know, it's just so much fun every time you see the green light to feel that acceleration of these things. So, you know, back next weekend.
So one more round to go, the quickest turnaround of the season. What's in store for prepping for that?
Well, the guys, they have said they have all the spares and everything that they're replacing already laid out in the shop. Indianapolis is between here and Ohio, where Andretti is based out of. So they've done their prep work. We're just going to literally slide the trucks in there, so, you know, make the cars brand new again and slide them on out in the same day. So I think it's going to be pretty, I mean, hopefully it rolled here into the podium. So, you know, that's a good sign for them getting them prepped. But for us, I'll actually go home for a couple days and then get out next weekend and hit it hard.
And what would it mean to be ARX champion? First time for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've been rallycross racing for a very long time, been champion, had a championship running in Europe, and was a champion here in the U.S. for a few years. But since ARX, you know, we won the very first round and then didn't win a championship since. And to be fair, each championship was so close. It's a lot of times it came down to a puncture. I had an amazing teammate, and so our team function was great. But man, to be second place for a few years in a row can start to wear on you. So yeah, we're going to push with absolutely everything we have to gather the points we need to finish this year off right.
Great. Well, go have some fun tonight, relax in between next weekend, and we'll see you in Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
Tanner Foust rightfully very pleased with the results from here. 17 points, Bucky is strong, but there's 30 up for grabs.
Look at the size of the Fiesta compared to the other
Yeah, it
cars.
does look small, doesn't it? The
It's a lot
Fiesta on the end of the three there. But they've been a brilliant car this year. That Fiesta's been absolutely amazing. Well, you know, okay, we've got another round to go, but looking back, it has been super tight. And Tanner having taken, I say he's the first person to take 2 wins, 4 rounds, 4 different winners, 3 Subarus, and then the Beetle last time.
Yeah. Well, Andretti is a proven team.
Yeah.
You know, whether they have the support of the factory or not, they've proven that they have the resources and the engineering to make a winning car.
And they're going to have to put that into use this week as well with that tight turn. Yeah, Tanner's saying they're literally going to roll the trucks in, re-prep them in a day and get them back out again. So, yeah, he might get a couple of days at home, but the teams are going to probably be working flat out to get it ready.
Yeah, these teams work flat out all the time. Like, even in off-season, they're building new cars. And then during the season, they're rebuilding the cars they built during the off-season because they're getting smashed up so bad.
because of turn 1. Hashtag turn 1. We're going to head down to the podium. Let's go and take a look. That's our man up a crane. I think that's probably our turn 1 camera. I think it is. That's there we are. There we go. Steve Arpin, very grateful, I think, to take a podium. He's been a bit upset today, hasn't he, Steve? I think he felt things hadn't gone his way.
Has. It looks like he's had some CBD-MD, though.
He's feeling a bit better. Patrick Sandell going to go up onto P2. Interesting that Atkinson. So Atkinson gathered enough points, didn't he? Despite the fact the final didn't go very well. He's only 2 points behind Sandell, so Subaru can't really throw everything behind Sandell. They've got to be fair to both of them.
They do.
17 points, though, is a huge lead. A kiss for Patrick. There we are. Cooper Tires girls up on the podium. Of course, Cooper Tires Truck. They are our tyre partner in America's Rallycross. Tanner Foust, the winner.
And now to second place from Sweden, Patrick
Sandell.
And our third place, a third different country represented, Canada, and Steve Arpin.
I know Steve's been taking his exams, hasn't he, to become a proper American, I think, too. I saw some stuff on Instagram. Yeah.
He can legally vote. Hopefully he does.
No comment.
We've got all the photos. We'll let you get out because you don't want to get soaked. And we'll let our representatives, presented by Cooper Tire Ambassadors, our champagne for our top 3.
Tanner Foust launches the winning cap into the crowd. Somebody gets a hand on that.
How about that shot? That was a good camera angle.
Champagne time. Tanner Foust wins here at COTA. Takes round 5, maximum points to extend his championship lead as we head to the final round. A brilliant performance by Foust against the might of the Subaru team. A well-deserved drink, I think. There's the crowd. Few more photos for the top 3. These guys will be starting to think about next year as well, Bucky, about where they're going to find the funds from, or where, you know, are they going to move teams? Yeah, good results at the end of a year are always a strong thing to have.
Yeah, I need a stretch.
It's been quite a long day. So Sandell and Atco, they've got a bit of a job on their hands here. Basically, they have to beat Tanner at every opportunity, but also they've got to hope for some bad luck because, you know, there's 16 points in qualifying, and then there's There's 6 in the semi and 8 in the final for the winner. So they've got to stretch Foust at every single opportunity.
Yeah, it's not over. It's not over by any means whatsoever. By any means, it's not over.
No. Okay. So they still have to focus and just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you still got one more race. Tanner sometimes his car might blow up in practice.
That's
or,
true.
You know what I mean? Like he might have
Well,
an
if
issue.
you had a motor change in Q1, for instance, and you just never know, then you would definitely be P8, and someone could take 8 points off you instantly. You know, you might, and then of course you maybe don't make it through to the final. So it is doable. It is doable.
Yeah.
Let's take another look back at the standings, and then you can have a little look for yourselves at home and see. So take a look at this. Tanner at the top of the table. Look, on 125 points. 17 points clear of Sandell. So he came here, he went to Canada 12 points behind Speed, and he left Canada 5 points behind him. So we actually came here with Scott, as you can see, down in P5, was leading the series by 5 points. So Tanner was on 95, perfect score of 30, sees him on 125. Sandell and Atco came here equal. What were they? I think they were on 95 points. They weren't too far behind, but they're close enough. So, all to play for. And in fact, look at Arpin. Arpin would very much like to take a podium. So if Arpin could, if he could take a podium in the series, he could nick a few points off one of those two guys as well. So
and get some sponsors set up for next year.
Exactly. Always working it. Nice smiles there, look, great to see Conor Martel, first to congratulate him, Sage Karam as well. Sage did a great job this weekend, look forward to battle resuming next weekend, but Fraser McConnell dominating ARX2 this year and dominating it against a class entry as well. Yeah, you can't do better than beat the guy who comes in.
Prior champ.
Yeah, exactly. The hammer.
Or standing champ, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's still champ, isn't he? Until Fraz takes it.
They've all agreed not to spray each other, so we'll see if that happens. I know. They don't want to smoke.
So we can hear James in the background there, down at the podium. He's just discussing the fact nobody wants to smell of champagne, and he's right, Bucky. It's nice to drink. It's not great to get sprayed with, is it? Really?
There you go.
Well, it is because you're on the podium, I suppose.
Spray away, fellas. Spray away, please. Spray it. Let it go. Come on. Big ups.
Champagne time for Fraser McConnell. A drink, first of all. Good lad. That's what we like to see. Then spraying the champagne. Fraser McConnell takes his 4th win of the year and his 3rd in a row to go to the final round at Mid-Ohio. See if he can secure the title there. Right, that's it. We're done from Koto. I know it's been quite a hectic day for you guys. I'm sure you can imagine it has been here as well. Literally, it's like run downstairs, get stuff, come straight back up here. It's going to be a hectic week. Bucky, you heading home for a few days?
No, I'm going out to Texas Dave's.
Yeah?
I'm going to go play with some cars at Rally
And then straight to Mid-Ohio after that?
No, I'm going to go home first.
Okay.
I gotta finish building my car.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm hoping to pop out and see you at Texas Dave's tomorrow as well. So I'll be heading out there, but then I'm heading back to the UK for a couple of days before we head out to Mid-Ohio. So remember, Mid-Ohio next weekend, 2-day event, Saturday, Sunday, double header for ARX2, single header round 6 for America's Rallycross. Are we going to see Fraser McConnell and Tanner Foust crowned as the champions in those classes, or is one of those hot favourites going to have a bit of a shocker? You'll have to join us next weekend and find out. Thank you to James Rimmer. Bucky, as always, thanks, mate.
Thank you, Andrew.
Cheers, man. And we'll see you in a week, guys. Take care. See you soon.